All right, everybody. So, here today, talk a little bit about bills that are going to be introduced into Congress. I decided that a good thing to do would probably be to talk about the numerous amounts of bills that are always being passed through Congress without anybody really paying any attention, because a lot of people just don't have the willpower to try to read through all of the legal jargon in it, and most part don't care too much to take the time to read, but maybe they'll take the time to watch a few quick videos on them and be a little bit more informed, be able to call the representatives and let them know how they feel on different bills. And there's no better place to start that off than with Ocasio-Cortez's new Just Society bill package. So Ocasio-Cortez went ahead and is releasing a whole package of bills, 6 bills to be exact. And I'm going to go through them, one video per bill. That way it's not too long or anything like that. But I'm going to go through them and explain each one. And they range from okay to what is this? You know what I mean? It's they cover a vast majority of things, but they're all kind of geared towards the same. Hey, let's introduce socialism here. So the very first bill is actually not that bad. I know that's crazy since it's coming from AOC, but it's not too bad. I agree with most of it. And that bill is the Recognizing Real Poverty Act. And this bill basically, it comes out and says, hey, America's a pretty big place. Different regions have different costs of living, different incomes. So a single flat line for the poverty level, which I think is somewhere around like it's in the 20,000s. I don't want to put an exact number because I don't have the number right in front of me. But anyways, this doesn't make sense for everybody. A good example of this would be San Francisco. You can make 100,000 a year and still be homeless almost. If you go and look at the real estate prices out there, you can find because they don't really have too many homes for sale. They'll have like condos, like little apartments, but you would buy them like a home. It's really weird to those of us that don't live in huge urban areas like this. But it's like you would buy your apartment with a home loan, and the last one I saw was because I looked it up about a month ago, just for kicks and giggles, but it was like a 600 square foot 1-bedroom apartment for $250,000. And like that is a very nice house where I live. In comparison, like a $250,000 home where I live would be like a 4-bedroom 2-story made a couple years ago, like really nice house. But the income levels are very different. The whole economies are very different between those two places. And so yeah, the poverty, or the Recognizing Real Poverty Act would go ahead and apply poverty lines to different cities and different states and stuff like that throughout the country. And what this would do it would allow federal services and state benefits and stuff like that, an easier way to judge how much or what type and how much of those benefits that people would be eligible for. For instance, if you're making $60,000 in San Francisco, by our federal recognition, you would be ineligible for just about anything. You're making $60,000, but in San Francisco, that means like you can't even afford to live. You're probably rooming with like 3 people in a 1-bedroom apartment, like crazy stuff. So this would allow you to get like food stamps or something. I've already laid out how I feel about the welfare programs. What I don't like about this bill is it also expands those what you can count as expenses. So instead of just saying here's your income, right, and because of your income you qualify for this amount, this bill would also have these different agencies take into account your expenditures, right? So normally, like food stamps, they'd ask you like how many people are in the household, right? And they have like a chart based on how much you pay and how many people in your household, you qualify for like this much money. This would allow you to almost adjust your income based on your total expenditures. So that already qualifies people for more than they already would get. And my thing about the welfare programs is that they need to have a huge overhaul on them. I'm not in favor of totally getting rid of them because they are good for people, but they need to be overhauled so that they're actually good for people instead of just handing out free money, because that's a disservice to people. So this would just kind of expand an already broken system in that regard, but then it goes further because normally you would think, okay, well, my necessities are like house, food, utilities. Well, it has a section where it talks about new necessities, and these would be things like cell phone, internet, things that we wouldn't really think would be necessities. They're luxuries. They're definitely nice to have, but I don't think that internet is a necessity, except for those of you watching this video, because then you wouldn't be able to watch me and get all of your fantastic information. So otherwise, it's not a necessity. I don't really know why they would label it as such, other than they're just trying to give out as much free stuff as possible. But compared to the other 5 bills in this package, this might be the most mild. So I'm gonna go ahead end it here, and I will catch y'all next time to follow up on the other legislation. Until then, y'all take it easy.